Welcome back to my LWC session. So in this session, we'll talk about how can I use wrapper class in LWC. And when I say wrapper class, what it means, and we'll develop one component using wrapper class. So the component will look like something like this, where I have developed a component where I'm displaying the account and its associated contacts. Okay, and this data what I'm displaying in this component is fetched on the wrapper object. So when I say wrapper class, what it means? So now to understand that, we'll understand what is the concept of wrapper class. So wrapper class, or you can say container class, is a class, or you can say as a data structure or an abstract data type which contains different object or collection of object as its one member. So for example, if I say I want to get my account record, then I can create a object or instance of my account. Okay, so like account SCC, or same way I can create a contact record. If I want to display, I can say contact con. Okay, so now these are two different objects. Okay, now I want to wrap it in one object member. Let's consider I will create a wrapper class like SCC wrapper, and this wrapper class will have the member of like account and contact. So whenever I want to access the account and contact, I can access through only one object. So now this SCC wrapper nothing but my wrapper class, where it can have different objects or different collections can be member of it. So inside this I can have SCC, I can have the contact list, or I can have some count like integer type. So like that, multiple objects can be member of this wrapper class. So wrapper class is nothing but a container class, or you can say a abstract data type which can contain a different object or collection of object as its member. So now, whenever in the component I want to access, simply I can refer my wrapper object, then I can access the member of it. So we'll see how am I going to develop a component where I'll have different type of data to display. Like here I am displaying my account name, which nothing but I can say object of SCC like account SCC. Okay, and I am displaying how many number of contacts is there, which is going to be one integer type of data. Like I can say integer contact count, how many contact associate to this account, and I'm displaying the contact details like phone, mobile, last name, first name, email. So that's going to be a collection of contact. So these are the three different kind of object I have, like account, integer count, and list of contact. So these three different objects I am going to display here. So all these things I wrapped in one wrapper class. So this wrapper class data I am displaying here. So if you see this one, so this is my account name, my number of contacts. Then you can see the contact details what I am displaying here. Similarly, you can see for any other account details. So we'll see how am I going to create this wrapper class and how am I going to use it in the component. So when I say wrapper class, again I'm saying it's nothing but a container class or abstract data type which contains different object or collection of objects as its data members. Okay. To do that, I'm going to develop this component from the scratch, and I'll show you how am I going to do it. So now to do that, what you do, you open your Visual Studio Code. Let me close other all tabs. Okay. So now what I need to do here. So I want to develop a component where I want to display my account and contacts. And this account and contact details I want to store in a wrapper so that you'll understand the concept of using the wrapper class in Lightning Web Component. Okay. So to do that, I'm going to create one component. So you go to your command palette, then type your create lightning web component. Here you give the name as Let's consider I'm giving the name as account contact display. Use my component name. Okay, so I'm going to store in my default LWC locations. So now you can see there is one component got created, LWC component account contact display, where I have HTML file, JavaScript file, and meta file. That's absolutely fine. And the details what I'm displaying, the account contact that I need to get from my database, both account and contact. To do that, what I do, I am going to write one Apex class. So from that Apex class, I will fetch the data. I will wrap it in my wrapper class. Then I will display in my component. To do that, first I am going to create one Apex class. Simply you go to command palette. You can type Control Shift P in your Windows machine, or if you are using Mac, then type Command Shift P. Or in the VS Code, you can click on this manage, click on command palette here. So then you can see there is a command called create lightning web component. If you don't get it, simply type create, you'll get it. Create lightning web component. So now here what we do, sorry, already I have created the component. I want to create a Apex class. So manage command palette. Then here type create. You can see there is one sfdx command called as create Apex class. Okay. Then now let's give the name. So I'm going to give the name as account contact wrapper, the class name. I'm storing in the default class folder. Now my class is got created. So whenever I want to have some class which need to be accessible to my lightning component or lightning web component, I should make that class as aura enabled. Okay, so I just type aura enabled. You can see here again I'm doing this. Simply I did here aura enabled, or yeah, aura enabled, and some class automatically came. I'm deleting it, so I'll write completely. I'll show you, and I'm just going to do it as cacheable equal to true. You can just type it. Okay, this is my class method I want to define here. So here I'm going to define one class public static, one method public static, who is going to return me a list of account contact list. That's going to be my account contact list wrapper. Okay, and here I'm giving a method name as get all account with contact. I'm just putting all account, so you can put any filter condition what you want. So now this method, when I execute, I want to get list of wrapper record, which is nothing but account contact list wrapper. So I'm going to create a wrapper class. So now here you see creating a wrapper class where I will have different object as its members. Okay. So now for that what I do, I'm simply defining a class, public class. Let's give the name as account contact list wrapper. Inside this, I want to define public account, let's see, SEC record. One data member I define here. Like this, I'll define multiple data member. Let's give another data member for my associated contact of the account as a list of contact, public list of contact. Simply I can say contact list, and same way I want to give one primitive type data for the total count, which I'm displaying. If you see here, total number of contact associated to this account. Public integer, simply I can give contact count. This is my wrapper class I create. So to the lightning web component, I will return this wrapper object, and that wrapper object will be used to display data in my component. Okay, so now what I'll do, a very small code I'm going to write to query my record. So now I'm just creating one instance of my wrapper class, which I need to return. So simply I can say SCC con wrapper equal to new list of account contact list wrapper. So now I am going to query my account record. Simply I can define list of account. Let's give the name as SCC list equal to. Here I am going to write a SQL statement, select ID. Let's consider I want to get name. Okay. Like whatever the field you want, you can do. Here I'm just displaying only the account name, nothing else. So I don't query here. If you want to display something else, you can write that field in the query from account. And if you want to put some condition, then you can put in where clause. If you want to limit, you can use the limit syntax. But here I'm not putting any conditions. But if you want, you can put conditions. Now account and contact are associated as a parent-child relationship. The contacts are the child of account. So instead of writing multiple queries, I can simply put it as a subquery here. So here I can query my contact record. So I want to get select ID. I want to get what I'm displaying the name, first name, last name, mobile, and email. So this field I'll query it. So select name, select first name, select last name, select email, and select mobile phone. Okay, from where I want to get from contacts. So now if you see, I wrote one SQL statement which return me account and contact together. So now based on this record what I get, I will build my wrapper record which will be returned on this method invocation. So now if I have some account, then I can process it. So if SCC list not empty, I can say if is empty is false, then I will iterate on this. Simply I can say each account what I have for, for each account I'm going to create a wrapper record which contains account, contact, and contact count. So SCC looping on SCC list. So now what I do here? So first I'm going to create one instance of my wrapper class. So simply I can give my SCC wrapper equal to new account contact list wrapper. If you see, this is my wrapper class whose instance I'm creating. Then this each wrapper record I'll put on this collection, or I can give more meaningful name as account wrapper list. Okay, SCC, and this name I'm giving as SCC con wrapper. Okay, so now if you see here, what I need to do? So in the SCC con wrapper, I want an account record, which is going to be like SCC con wrapper dot SCC record going to be my SCC record what I have here. And same way, I want to put my list of contacts. The list of contact directly I can put as my contact list equal to my contacts associated with this SCC record, so that I can get as SCC dot contacts. Okay, if it's not parent child, you can put any other record also. You can loop and you can add it. But here, as it's the parent child relationship, I can get the related records with the relationship name itself. So I want SCC con wrapper dot my contact count equal to SCC contact dot size. I can do this now. Okay, so now this wrapper record what I have, I created depending on my account and contact what I have queried using my SQL statement. Then once I build my account contact wrapper here, so what I need to do, I can simply add this record in my collection which I'm going to return. My collection is SSC con wrapper list dot add, and I want to return my SCC con wrapper record here. I'm just adding in this collections. Okay, once I do this, what will happen in the end? I want to return this record simply. Okay, now if you see this Apex class says okay, if anytime anywhere from the any page, if you want to call this method, or if in dev console you want to call this method, I'm going to get the one collection of my wrapper object, which will contain account object, contact collection object, and contact count as my primitive data. So this data I will take now and I will use in my Lightning component or Lightning web component to display like this. So in the next we'll see how am I going to use this wrapper class in my Lightning web component, which I created with the name as account contact display. Okay, so we talk about what is my wrapper class, and to use that we have created a wrapper class named as account contact wrapper, where I have a wrapper class account contact list wrapper, and if any component calling get all account with contact, I'm going to return my account contact wrapper list record. Okay, now let's go to my component. What I want to do, I have created a component account contact display. So here, what I need to do, let's see. So now if you go to the page, what I'm showing here I have defined this in multiple parts. So this is my account name, what I'm displaying. Okay, here I'm using something called Lightning badge. I'll show you that how I'm going to use this one. Here I'm displaying my count, and here I'm displaying my contacts in the Lightning card. Okay, we'll see how all these things are being used with different iteration we used. Okay, so now to get the data from the class where I have written, I have to work on the JavaScript. So LWC component what I'm creating, I go open this JavaScript file, and here first I have to import which class I want to invoke here. So let's give the name as import. Let's give the name as get. It's best practice to give the same name what we have. If you want to change this also, you can change. I'm keeping same as get all account with contact. So from where I want to import, I have already explained in my previous topics how we are assessing the data using Apex imperatively OA, that you can see why I'm doing these import statements in my previous sessions. You can check out that. Okay, so now I want to import this class from the Salesforce module. So that I'm writing here. You can see I have a class called as get uh, uh, all account with contact method in the class account contact wrapper. If you see, this is the class @Salesforce Apex account contact wrapper class. Here I have a method get all account with contact. So that we import here, first part. So now next what we need to. So now next what I need to do, I need to create some property. Okay. So here I'm going to create a property. I can say API. By default, it's API is like API properties, or you can say reactive properties. So here I'm just giving the name as accounts with contacts. One property we define here. Okay. And if anytime any error comes, that I can display as a error. Okay. So now I can use my OR mechanism to access my data. So simply I'm going to use @OR, and you can see the moment I'm typing OR API, automatically this importing from my LWC. You can see automatically this OR and API got tagged here. @OR, what I want to do here, the method what we have imported. So I have imported get all account with contact. Okay, so that's no need any parameters, you can see. So I'm not passing any parameters. So here on this method call, what I need to do, I'm going to give the name as, for example, this is where property, where with the functions. So simply I'm giving the name as where account with contacts. So the responses may come as a data or error. So that I can type here. So if error comes, it go here. If data comes, it go here. So now, if I got response in data, okay, or I may get error. So if error comes, what I'm going to do, and if data come, what I want to do. If error, what I need to do. So for now, what I'm doing, I'm just simply putting a console log to show you if any in time any error comes. So simply I can say this is my error. Okay, and the property what I have error property that I can set to display in my component. Okay, and if I have data, that data I have to bind with my account with contact. Simply I can say if I have some data, let's bind that data to my property what I have defined, account with contact equal to data. This is a small JavaScript code we have written. So now you see in my upper class, I have account record, I have contact record, I have some integer data, but here I'm just that nothing but I can say multiple object data I have. Multiple object data I stored in one wrapper member, or you can say one wrapper object. And that wrapper object, only one object record I return to here. Okay. And that data I bind in my JavaScript property. Okay. This JavaScript property contains now account record, collection of contact, and integer count. So once I have this one, now next I'll go to my HTML class, HTML template to write how I want to display my component. So because now I have logic which talks okay how I can get the record from my Apex. Okay, then now the second part comes how am I going to create a UI for it. Okay, so in UI what I'm going to do, let me show you. So then you'll understand what are the part we have. So now if you see here, let's see, this is one uh, piece of record. Here what is happened? So now here I am displaying my account record. Here I am displaying my contact record. Here I am displaying my count. So this is how I define. I have created this part, contact part, as different lightning card, and this account name what I have, I am using as lightning badge. Okay, we will see how both these things are used to display the data like this. Okay, let me go it. So in the next session, we will see how am I going to create this lightning web component HTML code, or you can say template code to display the data what I have received from my Apex class of this SQL statement to my JavaScript property, and from property how I'm going to display in my template. So in previous session, we have seen how I have completed my JavaScript code, which use where mechanism to execute my method, and the responses what I'm getting, I'm binding that with my uh, JavaScript property accounts with contact, and that property I will use to display in my component like this. Okay, to do that, what I'm going to do right now here, it's quite easy. Just few line of code will write and we can do it. And I'll show you the UI what I'm doing. So this complete component what you see, it is one lightning card. Okay, and here I'm displaying a lightning table. Sorry, lightning card title. So if you do want to see about lightning card, simply go to this component library, developer.salesforce.com, component library overview. If you search here card, then you can see the lightning card. Okay, I'm going to use this lightning card. Okay, you can see this lightning card I'm going to use. Inside this, I'll keep the content. So now what I do here in the template, I'm going to use lightning card. Okay, and here you see I have given something name account with contact using wrapper class in AWC. This is going to be my title. If you want to see why I'm writing this title, if you go to lightning card component reference, you can see there is a title name, and this title when you give, it will display here. So I want to display like this. So simply I give title here, and in title I want to keep account with contact using wrapper class in AWC. Okay, this is my lightning card. I am creating it. Okay, and you can see here I have used some kind of icon. Okay, so let me show you which icon you want. You can just simply type your SLDC utility or SLDC icons, then you will get this link icon in lightning design system. So if you go here, you can see different kind of icons. Okay, what type of icon you want to use. Okay, you can use custom icon, standard icons, whatever you want. You can use the icons. If you see here, different type of icons available here. Okay, which icon you want, simply you can use. If you want to use any custom icon, in the category come, click on this custom, which one you want. If you see here, I'm using this icon. So if you see, this is nothing but looks like this one, for example, I'm taking, or let me take this custom line. I can simply copy this name and I can use here, okay, what icon I want to use. Okay, so here if you see this lightning card component reference, if you go to specifications, you can see the icon name. You can specify any icon name what you want. Simply I can type here icon name equal to, okay, so I am using from the custom category and my icon name was custom 9. So it's nothing but this is the icon what I'm using. Okay, so I can just close this lightning card here. This is my lightning card. The moment you do this much, it's going to display this part, only this part, nothing else. Okay, this is my first part we did. So now apart from that, what I do, then you can see I'm displaying my contact and account details here. So to do that, I'm going to create a div tag here. I can use some SLDS class for padding or size, whatever the class you want, you can use. Simply you can see I want to give some margin. If I go to my SLDS, let's see, I want to leave some margin. If you search here, there are different SLDS classes we have, which I have covered in my previous sessions. You can see. So let's see, if you want to leave the margin from top or somewhere, you can give this class SLDS mtop none or SLDS mtop small, like that you can define. So here what I want to do, I want to put a margin, okay, like around. If you see here, if we go to this around, let's see, I want to leave the margin of around small or around medium. I can do that. Simply I can copy this class. So I want to give the margin. So simply I can go and set this much. I just create a block inside my card with the margin from all the side. So now next I want to do to display my account to name. So now when I query, I may have the multiple accounts. It may have one account or maybe zero account or maybe 50 accounts, depending on the number of record I have queried in my SQL. So now that need iterations. If I have account, wrapper record if I have written in my JavaScript, if this property contains some record, then I will iterate and display it. So first I have to check, do I have record on this wrapper, on this wrapper property? So to do that, I can use my template if the template if else conditions, which is nothing but template if true. Okay, then only I'll go inside the block, then I'll display what I want to do. So what I want to do, if template if true, if I do, that means if I have data on my JavaScript property accounts with contact, then only I'll go inside. Okay. So now this property may contain multiple record. So to do that, to process each record, I have to loop. I have to do a for loop. So in LWC, as I said, whenever you want to do iteration, we can use for each. Simply I can write a template for each, okay, on which you want to loop. I want to loop on the collection what I have in my JavaScript property like this. And same time, when I'm looping, like you define for account A colon ACC, so that means each item I have to give a name. So here I can define for item, I'm going to give the name as, let's consider ACC con. Okay, this is my looping shutter. So each account I loop and process. Now when I'm doing each account processing with these iterations, so each account may have the contact. So each account may have the one contact or multiple contacts. Again, on the contact level, I have to do iteration. So what I can do, So now first I'm displaying my account name. Each account may have only one account record. If you see my Apex class, I have defined only one account record, but it have the collection of contact. So I'm looping on these collections where I have one account record. From there, I will take only account name. Okay, let's see what I'm going to do there. So to display that, I have used something called lightning badge. If you go to here to my component reference, so if you see in the lightning component, we have something called badge. I want to display like this. So here I have something called tag as lightning badge where I can display the label how I want to display like this. Okay, and here also I can use some icon. So to do that, what I do here? So whenever I loop or iterate on each account, I want to display that as a badge. So simply I'm typing here lightning badge. In the badge, what I want to display label. I want to display the account name as the label. So account name where I'll get in my SCCon. Can I write here SCCon dot? If you see here, I have queried my name. That field which I have queried, I can use here as simple as it is. And I have kept some kind of icon here also. So I can put some icon here. So simply I can give what icon I want to set here. I can set okay. In the badge, if you see in the lightning badge specifications, you can see there is one property or attribute as icon name. I can use that attribute. Simply I can say icon name. I want to use the icon. Let's consider what icon I have for the account. If you go to this lightningdesignsystems.com, if you go to icon, then you can see all the icon. Let's see, do I have any icon for account? Yes, I have one standard icon account on the standard category. Simply I can use icon name this one. So this image will display. So now if you see here, I want to use the standard icon. Simply I'm typing here standard colon account. So that icon will be displayed here. This is my lightning badge what I have used. Okay. So now the moment I do iteration, as I told you before on my sessions, so I have to put a key attribute here for my performance. So my key I am going to define as the SCCon which contains account and contact both. In that I have one SCC record. I can put that account record ID as my key. Okay. So this is my badge. Okay, let me save it. Okay. Now these details what I did till now, it will display only this much thing. Let me see how it's going to look like now. And to display the data, what I can do, I can simply update my component meta file where I can just copy from others to define my targets. Okay. So here I define my targets. For example, I did up to this much now. Let me push these changes to my scratcher and then we'll see how it's going to display. Then what next part I want to set on this component. Okay, it takes a little bit time to push. Okay, meanwhile, to understand, we are developing one component where I'm displaying the account name, the total number of contacts, how much we have, and the each contact as a card. Okay, let me. Okay, once this code got pushed, then we'll put this component in one lightning page and we'll see how it's going to display. It's quite easy, no complexity there. My SFDS command is running to push the changes to my scratcher. So this complete changes what we did, it only talks one header, then account name, and each account name I'll display. Okay, the account name what I'm just displaying, let's think, I'll put some color here, like how I did the coloring. So I can use my internal CSS also. Okay. Some kind of error came that also will fix. So in HTML, I want to, in the lightning badge, I want to put a style. For example, font, let's color, I want to put as red. Okay, let me save it. And in the wrapper class, we have one error. Here you can see I missed the semicolon. We kept it, save it, and now push my changes to Scratcher once again. So LWC to practice is quite easy. You can practice and you can implement how you want. Okay, now you can see my SFDS command is running to push the changes to my Scratcher. Then in the Scratcher, we can create one lightning page to see how it's going to happen. So meanwhile, this component push, let me go to my org and create one small page. So whenever you want to create a lightning page, what I can do, I can go to app builder and can create a page. Or if you want to put in any existing component, that also you can do. But here to show this example, I'm going to my setup, and from setup, I'm going to create a app page using my app builder. It will take just 2 minutes time to create a page. Okay, you can see my lightning app builder in the setup. Then here simply click on the new page. Let's I want to create a app page. Select next. Let's give the name LWC scenario. Any name you can give. So I want to put in one region. This is already explained in my previous session what is this lightning app builder and what we do. Okay. So you can see I got already my component here. If you see, my command is successfully ran. So, and I'm exposing this component in my meta file defined to the record page and app page. So if I want, I can just drag this component, put here, and I can save it. What error coming will fix that. Okay, then we can just activate this page. Let me close it. Okay, when I'm activating for all users. You can see my page activation going on. So now I created a lightning page using my lightning app builder. In that page, I added my component. Let me go back and open this page to see what is happening. There is some error that also I'll show you how am I going to fix it. The page LWC scenario. You open this page now. If you see, there is some kind of so you can see the title came, but there is some kind of error says cannot read property ID of undefined. That's absolutely fine. We'll come back to that part. Okay. So if you see in the HTML template, I'm using sccon.accrecord.id. Okay, so it's saying this ID is not able to read. What is this ID? So nothing but I want this account ID. Okay, so if I go to HTML, I have used this ID column here. This ID falls in which member? It's fall in my SEC record member. Okay. I'm just using that SEC record you can see here, and this is falls in the for each item of SEC con. Okay. So when I say this much thing, what exactly it do in my place? Okay. So if you see I'm not able to get my record, that means the JavaScript property does not have this record. Okay. So if I put my console log, that's why I kept my console log to check if any error coming or not. Okay. If any error, I can see. You can see here some error came here. Cannot read property ID of undefined in this JavaScript. Okay. If you see, whenever I'm defining this SSH record ID, I got some kind of error. That's fine. We got some error we have. So that means I didn't have this property value. This property I do not have. This dot account record doesn't have any data for me right now. Okay. So let me put a console log to see if I have any data coming or not. Just to understand. Console.log, and I can say what data I have. Okay. In quite simple statement, I wrote a simple console log to see if I have some data or not right now. Okay. So now let me go to my class account contact wrapper dot get all account with contact, which is a method which I have used as a where parameters, where function here you can see where, and I have given the name as get all account with contacts. This is my function name. This may give me error or data. If data I'm assigning to my attribute accounts with contact, if error I have this one. Okay, so I put the console log to see am I going to in this block or not. See, sometimes we may get error or sometimes not. If you get error, then you can debug to see what is going to happen here. Let me post these changes quickly to my scratcher to see what is going to happen on this part. This is quite simple statement which we are writing right now.